So I've had plenty of bad addictions in my life and bad things going on. I've been addicted. I'm probably addicted right now to the internet, social media, and my attention span's probably fried. I was really addicted back in the day to sugar, and that was really bad. I'm very addicted to caffeine right now. So there's plenty of things that aren't really great or ideal. But one thing I never really fell for was alcohol or marijuana, and those are two pretty big ones that I've seen a lot of people struggle with. And it's specifically in this community, I feel like a lot of people have been speaking out against those two recently. And with the marijuana, I remember a very specific incident one time that really changed my entire perspective and just made me realize, I probably made the right choice as it relates to that. So going back to my high school days, I was basically this stupid fat kid sitting around, and basically a lot of people, tried to take advantage of you sometimes. And one of such circumstances was there was a kid in my class who, he was kind of nice to me, but I think that was all maybe part of the plot, and had kind of offered a few times pretty much to, hang out with him and have me come up to his house, and we were going to get high or whatever and, smoke some weed and everything. And I was always weary of that. Like I would never follow through. And it was kind of that guy you maybe see every once in a while and you make plans and then it never really happens. It was sort of like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll sure come up, and never really wanted to because I just wasn't that interested in marijuana. And keep in mind, a lot of people around me, like my friends and stuff, at times I had friends that were kind of wanting to try it or wanting to get into that. And I just never really saw any interest in it. And again, especially because I have my own issues to overcome, not only at that time, but still today, I'm like, I probably don't need to add a potential other one. And it's funny with marijuana, I've kind of changed opinions on it. I'm not really that harsh about anybody uses it, and I also don't care. And it does benefit some people, it seems like, but at the same time, there's a lot of situations to where it just isn't ideal that you're using it. So I think from that perspective, I don't need to jump on it. And in this circumstance, the guy that was trying to basically sell me into that, get me onto his operation, I suppose, ended up in a very bad situation. So we're all we get through high school, and at one point I know he had disappeared, I believe, off to another high school, which was for sort of the folks that were struggling in school and trying to get some extra help. And then sometimes if you were in some big trouble, they might send you there. It was another separate school in the district, but overall it was kind of a good environment for some. And I think they sent him there at that point, although I might have been mistaken. But either way, we didn't see him for a while, and you kind of wondered what he was up to. And it was just a weird thing. And eventually, I believe post high school or near that, a news article comes out, and you start to hear rumblings amongst your friends and stuff that the guy who was trying to get me onto his marijuana business had actually committed a serious crime. And this guy basically, I don't know why, but had stabbed his Uber driver or rideshare driver in an attempt to, I don't know, not pay the money for the ride or maybe take over the ride. I can't exactly remember what it was. I'll leave a link to the article and a screenshot because that's going to be explaining it a lot better, and I don't want to sit here and get the information wrong, but just made you think, that probably wasn't the person to get involved with. And it was like, yeah, I feel like I dodged a bullet there. I'm not saying I was going to sit there and get stabbed like that guy, and it's hard to say that I was there and know what was said that could have provoked that, but either way, that's usually not the way you want it to go down. And it ended up being that guy obviously got arrested trying to flee, got arrested, ends up spending time in jail, and then now in prison for a lengthy time. And it's just one of those things that I look back on and I'm like, I don't think I would have gotten stabbed, but that's just symbolic of, the bad things that would maybe come with starting a new drug or potential addiction, thing you can get addicted to that could sort of in a new way take my life in the wrong direction. So again, I'm not all anti-marijuana, but I just feel like there's a lot of situations, and certainly for me as a young person without really any prior reason to do it, I feel like starting that would have kind of been dumb. Where I don't think it would have been dumb, just to name an example, is if I'm like a 60-year-old cancer patient with not a lot going for me and I'm trying to find any type of coping mechanism or something that might help ease the tension, the pain. I think it's great if you're in that situation and you want to try out marijuana for sure. But again, for me, I felt like it would have been smart, and that was just very symbolic of not getting into that. And so I am thankful I stayed away from marijuana, alcohol, some of those mainstream drugs, and certainly anything harder than that, which is a lot of people get scared off of. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comment section below. trying to keep this one shorter and concise. We're going to have more videos out. I've liked making these so far. It's been pretty fun just to see everybody in the comments giving a take and everything and seeing what you have to say and your thoughts and experiences. So let me know. And for now, we'll be out. But also, if you're trying to check out the social medias of the other channels, all that's in the links below in the description. You can also see it on screen. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.